Well, good morning and welcome to Zen Live, or let's crack open the cosmic egg and see what comes out. So today is Halloween, and let me get my clock started here, okay? And I want to talk about the horror. The horror. Okay, Halloween's all about horror. We say Happy Halloween. What is it? Happy horror? Happy fright, happy fear, happy panic, the horror. We love Halloween is when we love the horror, when we play with the horror. But what is the horror? So I want to let's go with me today. Let's go into the horror. The horror. I just finished. I had this impulse to watch Apocalypse Now. You know, the Vietnam War movie recently, and then realizing that the Apocalypse Now was taken from the book by Joseph Conrad, The Heart of Darkness, both of which are about the horror. The horror. The hero, the narrator, goes upstream into the jungle where this mysterious Kurtz has gone beyond civilization. He's gone beyond normality. He's gone beyond morality. He's gone beyond everything. He's upstream of everything. And he experiences, and when asked what he knows, what is your secret? What is it that you found? And he said, the horror. The horror. Now, what is the horror? I want to know. So we're going to take a little voyage upstream here, and we're going to use. I want to thank again and again, the works by Albert Lowe, a Zen master in Canada, who writes about consciousness from a Zen point of view, from a Buddhist point of view. But he writes about it in a rational Western language. So I'm greatly indebted to Albert Lowe. I've been reading him for years. And as you can see, I'm reading this book now for the fourth time. You see all the little markers. I got blue. Whenever I go through it, I have a different color marker. And so he's just helped me understand the way my awareness works, the way your awareness works. And it's very... his approach is basically that there are two kinds of awareness, both equally valid. And we all know, we can just go through this with me, because you can, I mean, we all have the same awareness. So the primary awareness is awareness as. Now you're sitting in your room right now, and you're aware of the whole room. And this would be you are aware of being. But if I say, look at this marker. Now this is a different kind of awareness now. In other words, you were aware of everything on this screen here. That you're looking at me, and you're aware of everything here. And then, and maybe you're not focusing on anything. You're just aware of the whole context. Kind of like when you sit on the back porch and you're just aware of everything around, but you're not focusing on any one thing. And so you're not even really there. Or maybe if you're listening to somebody and you're not thinking about what they're saying, you're just aware of the listening. You're just passively aware of everything. So this awareness as is kind of a passive awareness of everything, like a wide-angle lens. I use this all the time. You put on a wide-angle lens on your camera, and you're aware of the whole field, but you're not focusing on any one thing. Awareness as. So there's nobody there. There's no me there in awareness as. But as soon as you focus on something, like this board, did you see this board? Now, see, you were aware of the board, but you were aware as the board. But then when I say, look at the board, you are aware of awareness as. In other words, the awareness as is the ground of awareness, and then we are aware of awareness as. You see that? So awareness of is a focused awareness, but it focuses on what we're already aware of. The ground, awareness as, and when we have a mystical experience, we fall into awareness as. And so when a person writes of suddenly I'm standing on the at the seashore, and I am the ocean, and I am the seagulls, and I am the waves, and I'm the sand, that's awareness as. There's no me there separating yourself from what you see. But as soon as you say, okay, are you aware of this? What is that? Well, as soon as you focus on this as the center, awareness as splits into I, that's you, aware of it. So I appears when it arises. So awareness of is what we call a me, or a world that includes you as an object and something you are aware of in it. Awareness of zooms in, like, if you have a zoom lens on a camera. I'm a photographer, so you get one of these lenses that gives you a wide angle, and then you can zoom in. And you notice that when you zoom in, the background goes out of focus. And so you're just focused on what the objects you see. But you're focusing on the objects, you're aware of objects that you are aware as. So the wide angle is already there, except that you're just focusing on what you're aware as, you see. But awareness as has no focus, so there's no I. There's no I there. There's no world there. There's no meaning there. But as soon as you focus on something, then me appears as a world, which includes I and it, you see. So we're looking at this awareness of. Now here's where the hara comes in. I mean, this is human consciousness. Animals don't have this consciousness. Animals have a me. There's a lizard and a bear and an octopus all have a world idea, a me, in which they see in terms of their octopus world. I don't know what a world looks like to an octopus, but it lives in a world. Or a squirrel lives in a squirrel world. An ant lives in an ant world. A monkey lives in a monkey world as a me, as a center of awareness. But there is no awareness of, because awareness of creates an I, you see. So now you got a me as the world, but now you have an I in the world. I looking at something. I'm looking at something. I have this, I have that. And what has happened, according to Albert Lowe, and according to what I experience, is that awareness of can become aware of awareness of. I can be aware of myself. Now this creates a liftoff. See, now awareness as is anchored to being. Awareness as is not separate from awareness as existence. I'm aware of this room as existence. It's the totality. But as soon as I focus on an object, now that object has a name. You focus on that. You have it. It's a marker. You see, it's a marker. Now, if it had no name, it would become very mysterious. We'd want to name it and put it into my world, you see. So it would fit into my world. Anything that doesn't have a name, we have to name it because it has to fit into my world, you see, where I am an object, I'm a subject and an object. You know, when Krishnamurti says the observer and the observed are one, what he's talking about there is awareness as. And awareness as is pre-conscious. In Buddhism, this is called mindfulness. Mindfulness is pre-I and it. Mindfulness is the background. Mindfulness is like this whiteboard here that's aware of the writing, which is I, it, you see. I'm aware of the writing. Well, the awareness as is the blank board that holds all of the its that I see. And every it has, when an it rises, I arise with it. So I and it rise together, you see, subject and object. That's what makes up me as the world. So now this me as a world then gets separated from awareness as. It can lift off. So I can lift my world of me, where I have an I and an it, you see, can lift off from awareness as being. Awareness as is anchored into being. Awareness of can cut the rope and lift off, and I can live in my own little world. I can create a world unto myself. You see, that is different from the world you live in. And so this is where we get into fake news and real news and all of the split we're in today. We're living in split worlds. Me's get together and see one world, and a bunch of other I's get together and see another world. And then they think there's wait a minute, there's two worlds. That can't be. So anyway, we're trying to get down to the hara. So when awareness of becomes awareness of, it's slipped off from being and awareness as being. And here's where we get into a panic. Awareness of, it's called iterative awareness. Iterative means again and again and again and again. So now I'm awareness of, and now where does that stop? I'm awareness of, it's like a hall of mirrors. I'm awareness of. It's like I'm afraid. Now I'm aware of being afraid. And now I'm aware of being afraid. And now I'm aware of being afraid. And now I'm aware of. And oh my God, I'm having a panic attack. It's like when you stick a microphone up against an amplifier. Wow, 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 turn it off. So awareness of can be like a nuclear reactor. You can't stop it. And that's called a panic attack. And that's the hara. And this, I always use the Uroboros. The Uroboros is an ancient symbol. Uroboros. Got 3 O's in it. Uroboros. It's the snake eating itself. And this is a symbol of, see, the tail is also the head, and the head is the head. So now we've got the Uroboros is the vicious cycle of hara, or panic, of being swallowed by myself. When this awareness of gets cut loose, it can swallow itself. So the head is swallowed. There's 2 heads. It's not like the tail is this is both me, you see. You see, so it becomes, I'm swallowing myself. Awareness of myself, I'm anxious. And this creates anxiety. Anxiety is created when awareness of begins to swallow itself. I'm awareness of myself being anxious. Now I'm aware of myself being aware of anxious. Now I'm aware of myself being aware of anxious, and now that's let loose. I've got to grab something. I've got to go see a priest, a therapist. I've got to go see a friend. I got to find something to anchor myself because I'm, whoa. I'm being swallowed. And there is the hara of Halloween. So Halloween in your horror movies is all about basically awareness of getting out of control and swallowing itself, you see. Staring in the, when you look, Nietzsche said, when you look into the abyss looks back at you. So this hara of Chucky and all these clowns and all that is looking into the abyss of my own mind, and the abyss looking back at me. The hara of being swallowed by my own mind. The hara of being swallowed. And so if you really understand this hara, we can trace this back to all of our fear and anxiety. If you're in a relationship and they want to control you, that's the fear of being swallowed by the other person. It trips this vicious cycle, vicious circle. The vicious circle can be tripped. It can be tripped, you see, by anything, by a memory, by another person. So in Halloween and the horror movies, this is play horror. We know it's play. So we play with the vicious circle. We play with the Uroboros because it's safe, you see. So we enjoy the play horror, not realizing, and the only reason we can enjoy the play horror is because there is a real horror, you see. And so this is very interesting to me because I really, as I begin to understand it and imbibe it and begin to apply it, I begin to see how so much of my own, quote, horror, fear, is tripped by how this is tripped. If you can understand how your mind gets tripped into anxiety, how your mind can get tripped into the Uroboros, and the feedback of pain and sorrow and karma starts, you see. This feedback loop. This is a feedback loop that can't be stopped except by something external. If you can hang on, go talk to a friend, they can anchor you. Or an addiction anchors you. No, I need a drink. Even cigarette smoking. And we do all of these addictions, all these things we do are basically temporary attempts to stop the Uroboros from getting hold of us. So we find little ways to stabilize ourselves. I need to go for a walk. I need to read a book. I need to go whatever we do. It's all basically to keep the Uroboros from taking over and falling into the abyss, into the horror, you see. And the horror is not out there. In being, you see, the horror is our own mind. The horror, and this is the human mind. This is human consciousness. It's our curse and our blessing. The human consciousness creates horror and also creates beauty, love, creativity. So this awareness of, and you can just play with this. A lot of the Buddhist practice, a lot of meditation practice is all about dropping out of awareness of stillness. Oh, stillness, what is that? Stillness is awareness as. So when you talk about presence, Eckhart Tolle talks about presence. What's presence? Awareness as. It's got different names: subliminal, preconscious. Awareness as has no I feel to it, as with a memory, an I with a memory and a personality and a profile. An image, all that is not in awareness as. Awareness as is our fundamental existence. And then out of that rises the narrow focus lens of I and it, which creates a me. You see. And so more and more in our culture today, we're losing our ground with the ground of being, the farm and the animals and the grass, and we're living more and more in me worlds, artificial, digital image worlds. You see, more and more, and then this me as world, you see, in order to anchor itself and prevent the Uroboros from happening, we get together in groups and anchor ourselves and keep away the horror by being in a group of me's that affirms and agrees upon a world idea. So now I'm in a Trump world, or now I'm in a democratic world, or now I'm in a Christian world, or a Muslim world, or a Jewish world, or a alt-right world, a Nazi world, whatever the world is, I get in there with other me's to stop the Uroboros from getting hold of me, to stop the horror, you see. Doesn't that make sense? Happy Halloween. Happy horror. Happy horror. Okay.